You just tell me. See, I'm here.
Can we go swimming?
Hey. I think we're live. We on the two who is with me. I really would like to see. Let me turn on the comments so that I can see who and who is live with me. All right, are you guys excited? What came up for you yesterday? Can you tell me what you've been able to do? I really want to know, are we doing something great or is all this effort in vain? I really just want to know who was with me yesterday. And even if you didn't manage to join me yesterday during the day, did you go through the video because it's already in the learning group? Did you really watch it and what came up for you? So just want to see two people tell me. I can see we are live, couple of us. That's 10 already. So are we live? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Fantastic. Thank you very much. Someone says hi, Coach Betty. I totally appreciate that. So I just want to see a very quick one. What was your key take home yesterday? What was that you took home? What is that thing that you started thinking about and you thought to yourself, wow, I am very grateful to learn that. And you can consider both during the day and what we did in the evening as well during the Q&A. I just want to see two people tell me what was your key take home and we can take it up for today. So I'm looking at the comments. I want to see what was your key take home yesterday. What's that one big thing that you left the class with? I'm a trained teacher, so I like to know if my students are learning or we are not doing anything. Oh, thank you very much. I have potential. I am not empty. Our self-doubt and mindset holds us back. Absolutely. Great that you learned that. I totally appreciate the feedback. Thank you very much. That should be Janet. Thank you very much, Janet. And thank you, Julia. Welcome to the show. I am really, really glad to see you. Just one more person. What did you learn yesterday that you carried home? I actually really like the feedback from Janet. You know, like you're not empty. You are this very loaded person. Only that you need to know how to bring up the potential and make it work for you. All right. One more person. If I could see one more person telling me, wow, I like the feedback. I like the feedback. Judy says, the potential I have must be something that people want. Let me rephrase it a little bit, Judy. The potential you activate and the one that you want to bring to the market must be something that people want. So just looking at it from yesterday, it must be something that people want, something that you're good at, something that you love doing, and something that will pay you because we also don't want you to be frustrated with nothing, right? Then Agnes Kipchurba says, realizing that I can monetize my potential is encouraging. Absolutely, Agnes, and that's what I do for a living. I just actually monetized my own potential. Elizabeth, abundance mindset is key. It is actually very important. It's critical. It's critical, abundance mindset. And then we have Maura says, Maura Beth, wow, we share a name. Not all potentials are sellable. Yeah, there are some things that you just can't sell because people don't want to buy them. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that those things are not sellable. It actually means that you are possibly the person that is not able to sell that particular thing, but another person will sell it. Like, for example, I know there are things I couldn't sell. I mean, for the life of me, I am not going to be a good salesperson for that particular product. So, but maybe if I give it to Janet, she will be able to sell it. If I give it to Narkishon, he's going to be able to sell it. If I give it to Ambrose, and that is why sometimes, guys, I encourage you to look for collaborations. So some things might not be sellable by me, but they are sellable by Agnes. Some things might not be sellable by me, but Laban will go and sell that particular product. So it is you to do personal introspection. Like, just look at, who am I? What do I want? What can I sell? What can I not sell? Right? There are things I personally I'm not interested in selling. And so if I knew this thing could bring me a lot of money, and then I indulge in wanting to sell that particular product, it will hurt me. And I'll be giving you a story today of some service that was not sellable by me, yet it was very lucrative. All right. Laban says it's not easy. You need to go out of your comfort zone. Absolutely. It's about passion. Absolutely. I have learned that you've got to push on until you can monetize your potential. Yay. So I can actually tell that we learned something yesterday. So let's look at today's presentation and see what it is that we can learn from today. So by the end of these 3 days, I want us to have understood what potential is, what to activate that potential actually means, and then finally, how do we go ahead and make some money out of that potential. So when those three meet at the center, I will be a happy person. So shall we? I'm very excited, and as we did yesterday, I would like to know for those of you who didn't tell me what it is that you are doing, I would appreciate to know. And if you didn't tell me yesterday, or you are new today, you weren't with us yesterday, you can actually like to tell me why did you join the AMP challenge? What's the why? I always like people who really know why they are here, because if you don't know why you are here, then it ends up being a very sudden occurrence. So potential, I want to say this, and I want to say this very humbly, but with a lot of conviction. If you can understand your potential and know where it lies and know how to activate it, success will be yours. And that success, it's you to decide what success means to you. Yesterday, I was with a friend of mine, and he was driving, and I was asking him, what does success mean to you? So, because we were having a conversation, and he started complaining. So I asked him, don't you think you're successful? And he told me no. And so we started a discussion, and I asked him, like, for real, what does success mean to you? When will you consider yourself successful? And so, of course, it took me through the journey, and I realized something. His success is not my success, and is not my other friend's success, and it's not a lot of other people's success. So because I'm not revealing his name, I'll say what he told me. He told me success to him means he can literally go to a service station and say, just give me gas, and to the full, like, just give me full gas. If you want to do something, if you want to paint his house, he just told me, for me, success doesn't mean having 29-story building. For me, I don't even want it. I just want to be comfortable in life. That was his answer. All right. So whatever success means to you, and you actually by now need to have sat down and decided what success means to you, whatever success means to you, if you can just understand your potential and how to bring it to activity, then success will be yours, whatever it is that, whatever success means to you. Now, I want us to go back to mental strength. And the reason I want us to go back a little to mental strength is because some of you have inboxed me separately and really followed up on yesterday's discussion. And some of you who are here are already actually even in AMP program. A lot of you are not in it, but some of you are already in it. And I can see the pattern. I can see the questions. I can see where the struggle is. Now, let me even go back to my normal coaching programs. This is where the struggle is, guys. If you can hit this, if you can listen to me for the next 5 slides, you are home. You home and dry. So let's go back. And personal potential has more to do with your mental strength than your gifts, your talent, your passion, your expertise, your anything. Your mental strength. I want that to sink. your mental strength, your personal potential, and how you will activate it and monetize it and make it work for you and make it sustainable has more to do with your mental strength than it has to do with anything else, any other talent, any other gift, any other passion. It is not enough to say that I, Betty, worked for Safaricom for many years and gained a lot of experience. There are many other people who worked for the big boy and left and didn't manage to do what it is that we are doing. Why? Mental strength. And I want you to really pay attention today, because if you can win this, imagine anything else is possible. In short, listen, my dear ones. In short, potential is anything you wish to be. And I actually put that in gold so that you can actually let it sink. Potential is anything look at the word anything and the word you, they're in gold, because I want us to be clear with each other. Is anything, not limited by anything. I saw Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter, and I can't really wait for that to happen. And for me, that's big news. I don't know what is very, very big for you. For me, if I would, have a system that we, of course, with collaborations with industry experts, the system that sorts our online payments, because we are really suffering, those of us who sell things online. And I know it's a big project. I know it's a big time kind of a thing. I look at it and I think to myself, wow, this is big, but anyway, it's achievable. So whatever it is, anything you say in your mind, you, not your colleague, not your mom, not your teacher, not whoever else has an opinion about you. Potential is anything you, Jane, you, John, you, Margaret, you, Laban, you, Caroline, you, Agnes, you, Janet, you, John, you, Ambrose, you, Betty, you wish to be. So if you can strengthen your mind, if you can have mental strength, whatever it is that you want to achieve can be yours. So even if others says you're not good at something, you can still end up being very successful in that area. I am teaching you guys mental strength. 3 years ago, I attended a conference in Dubai with my business coach. He was running a conference there. So I went. And as he was taking us through the training, at some point, I really wanted him to take me through the financial management, because I was very indisciplined with my financial management. And I thought that financial management is where I needed his help. But he kept insisting on mental strength. And at some point, he brought up a tool. And, I remember him asking me, so Betty, if these 10 things were to happen to you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would be your mental strength? How would you deal with it? And I remember him reading a sentence, and I would tell him, out of 10, I'm an 8. And he laughed. He told me, so if this thing were to come on your desk, you would perform at an 8? And I would say, yeah. So he asked me 10 questions in front of a class that was full of foreign nationals and big people. And so he broke it down for me. And the reality that day, in fact, I even stopped paying attention to the financial bit, because I realized the reason why a lot of things were happening in my business wrongly is my mental strength. I mean, if people say you're not good at this, you agree that you're not good at it and you stop doing it. I have seen a lot of people tell our influencers what they should be and what they shouldn't be. The difference between that person that does it and the person that doesn't do it, whether you have attended my programs or not, whether you've gone to another coach or not, whether you have gone to be accredited as an ICF coach or not, if your mental strength is wanting, my dear brother and sister, nothing else works in that business. So whatever else anybody says, you are the most important person in that equation, and you totally need to take care of your mental strength. I will repeat this and I'll repeat again. Looking at the questions I'm getting, looking at the comments I'm getting inside my inbox, some of those you really bring them to my inbox, and I totally appreciate. I don't have quarrels with that, because it helps me go back and prepare for you. If you can, make sure that your mental strength is taken care of. You can be anything, you can achieve anything, no matter what anybody says. No matter what anybody says. So please pay attention to your mental strength. Now, mental strength. So what do you need for you to have super good mental strength? And you said this person talking to you here, if my very close friends told you what has been happening to me for the last 2 months, you really would say, please, Betty, just go do your things. Like, just move. It's not possible for you to be here teaching. But guess what? Me, I already went through mental strength a long time ago. So I know when I need to pull out my willpower to keep continuing. So what will help you with your mental strength is your willpower. And I know you hear the word willpower a lot of times, but what does it really, really mean? Willpower is restraint. Restraining yourself. You feel like, I want to close this business, but you're like, okay, let me give it 1 more month. You feel like, Coach Betty took me through AMP. This is not working. I am not getting the clients that I wanted to get. I want to stop this. I want to go back and get employed. You know what willpower is? That of the voice that tells you, wait a minute, relax, pause, think, do it again. It's a drive. It's the passion. It's a drive. It's the determination to keep going. And guess what? Your mental strength, your willpower is a lot of self things, self-command, self-containment, self-control, self-discipline, self-government, and self-mastery. Not crowd command. What did people say about you again? That is not willpower. Willpower is how you respond to what they said about you. Willpower is how you respond to how inflation is behaving. Willpower has nothing to do with you and friends, gathering over the weekend and whining 29,000 hours about how fuel is expensive and oil is expensive and how life is unbearable at the moment. That is not willpower. People are doing that, but I hope that you take note of the word self. Whatever happens, whatever is happening to your business, whatever is happening at your workplace, if you've had rumors that maybe they are downsizing, what can you gather your willpower and say, all righty, they are downsizing. What's my self-command telling me to do? Your self-containment. Will you be able to pull out the willpower to take you to the next level? So if you can bring around your willpower to self-command, self-contained, self-control, self-discipline, self-govern yourself. In fact, I'm even really repeating self-govern yourself. Self-govern and master you to know that I am capable of doing this or I'm not capable of doing this. I watched, in total and sheer disbelief when my favorite, actor went, to slap his friend on the stage. And I know you know what I mean. And I was like, man, where is will power in your will? Like, where is that thing that tells you, please, I know you're very upset, but can you kindly just contain yourself? Don't answer to this thing that is calling you on stage because it's going to mess your brand. So I want to ask you today, you guys that are in my class today, what are you answering to today? What have you been answering to? Have you been answering to give up? Have you been answering to the news and you listen and you're like, oh my God, things are so bad. And imagine maybe there's even COVID. I'm done. I can't do this. So look at all those selves: self-command, self-containment, self-control, self-discipline, self-government, self-mastery. That, my dear friend, is what is going to set you apart. It doesn't matter what potential you have. It doesn't matter what ideas you bring on the table. It doesn't matter what experience you have. It doesn't matter the expertise. If you cannot strengthen your mentors, strengthen your mind, have that willpower to keep, you hear the news, but you're like, all righty, I hear, but I have something to do to counter that. If you can gather your willpower, you can gather your mental strength. There is nothing under the sun that you cannot achieve. So even if I taught you the whole AMP and even brought you the guide and told you just remove my name and put you as, even if I handed you my whole program and told you, Alan, please, Mary, please, Shika he, Shika this, you want to go to the next level? You know you have potential and you want to activate it. Here is my program. Remove my names, input yours. If you cannot be able to master your mind, my friend, you won't go anywhere with that program. You won't go anywhere with that program. Imagine you won't go anywhere with that program. And that's why I'm never afraid. Anyone wants to copy what I'm doing, you copy away, please. It's all right, no problem at all. If you do not have the mastery of your own self, your brain, your self-discipline, you ain't going anywhere. But let me tell you something else. Even if you think you have zero potential, for example, even if you think you have zero drive, you have zero talent, which is not true. We talked about it yesterday, and you have mental strength, anything, please underline the word, anything is possible. And guess what? These things I'm telling you, I'm not telling you these things that I've read. I'm telling you things that I have experienced. When I was telling my coach that I would answer a NEET, I didn't know what kind of problems were going to come to the industry. Imagine I didn't know that one day I would wake up. I have a team of, by now we are 32 of us, and COVID would be declared and we won't be going to work. And those guys have families. By the way, out of the 32, I'm the 32nd. Out of the 31, I only have around 8 ladies. So the rest are men, married with children, looking up to Betty to pay their salaries. So can you imagine if I didn't have mental toughness and willpower? It didn't really matter what I knew. Those families were really going to suffer because I hadn't taken care of my mentors. So when that happened, one day I remember really feeling fear about COVID and looking at things and looking at how things were, and looking at things that people were spreading on social media and thinking to myself, man, Betty, now this is the time, this is the opportunity. You remember Coach CK teaching you about your mental willpower? Now bring it up, girl, bring it up. And I was having a conversation with myself. I called my friend Coach Irene and we sat and asked, so now what do we do? How do we move from here? And I remember us starting to teach people online. We said, we have internet, yes. We have laptops, yes. Our mouths, have they been shut by COVID? No. Do we still have our brains intact? Yes. Is there something we can tell people? Yes. So can we do this? We said, let's do this. And so we started a campaign. And in a matter of 1 month, we actually ended up making more money than we were doing when COVID was not there. Guess what? We were coming in. In fact, we weren't starting them, whatever we were doing online, to make money. We were doing it to help people come to their willpower, to help people accept what was happening and look for a solution. But then we ended up having people tell us, now I want you to come and literally teach me what it is that you are teaching online. If you're available, I would pay for it. All right. So willpower is the ability to resist short-term temptations, the temptations to drop what it is that you started, the temptation to fire your manager. I know some of you are already like, I hate my job. I want to leave this job. I want to go start my own business. Yet you've not done the statistics. You really don't even know where you want to focus. Resisting that short-term temptation, that is willpower. Resisting that desire, that's willpower, in order to achieve your long-term goals. Your long-term goal of growing a company, your long-term goal of, starting your own thing, your long-term goal of bringing out that potential. All right. So it is, being able to win current satisfaction, instant, your instant gratification desire over your long-term plans. I know I have really insisted on the willpower. I know I have really insisted on the mindset. I know I have really insisted on the mental shift that you need to have. But if you ever forget anything else that Coach Betty told you, remember how strong you are in your mentors, how strong your mindset is what sets you apart. Is really not, it's the potential, of course, and it's the giftings and it's your environment and all those other things. But if your mentors are weak, my friend, you're also going down. So please make sure that your mentors are working and you've taken care of your willpower. So Dan Millman says willpower is the key to success. I hope you realize that. Successful people strive no matter what they feel by applying their will to overcome apathy, doubt, or fear. Because it really does not matter. If you're presented with an opportunity today and someone came and said, Mary Kubai, come here, we want to appoint you as the CS education in this country. Let me tell you, with a weak mindset, with a weak willpower, Kenyans will drive you crazy, crazy. But with a strong mindset, I looked at that girl who won the, some seat. I think she's very young, like she's 24. And to myself, I was thinking, I hope this girl's mindset is at the right place. And I hope that her willpower is going to help her. Yeah. So there's nothing you can't do, and there's nothing you can do if there's nothing you can't do if your willpower is in the right place, and there is so much you cannot do if you have a weak mindset or you have not taken care of your mental strength. So I hope that has sunk. Purity says, I hope we can have this later. I'm in a meeting. Purity, this is available for the next 72 hours. I hope you take time to go through it. So remember from yesterday, the mindset story that we looked about, your growth mindset, instead of seeing a problem, it sees an opportunity. Go back to that story I've given you about COVID. We sat, we were scared, but then we asked, what is the opportunity in this? Every time you're presented with a problem, ask yourself, what is the opportunity in this? Don't always push yourself to thinking, oh my God, I'm suffering this and this, and there are problems. That mindset of saying, I don't know how to activate I don't know how to activate my potential, Coach Betty. Instead of I don't know, can you tell yourself, I want to find out how to activate my potential? Because the moment you tell your brain, I want to find out, you will start seeing other solutions even elsewhere. The fixed mindset has jealousy. You see someone who is winning it. You see someone who is doing best. You see someone who is doing amazing things. Like I saw yesterday, I just saw rumors that Polycarp Igathe is going to get something good, like governor or something like that. Because I've really conditioned my mind over a long period of time. I saw his CV. I was like, what does this man know that we don't? I have this admiration for him. For me, I was like, maybe, am I being right or am I being wrong? And I decided to put it on my account and ask guys, does any of you know what Polycarp Igathe is made of? If you want to know, go read the comments. And that guy, I don't know him much, but I think there's literally something that he has known and he does. So for me, it's the admiration. And I was like, man, if someone can make me meet him, that would be a very good thing for me. So when difficulties come, do you see the difficulties or do you see the lesson? Does your mind first of all process the difficulties or do they process the lessons? So I run another business, and 3 months ago, I saw a memo and a circular that was saying, there's a court case and you guys cannot continue doing business. And there are people who report to work every day. That's a serious difficulty because I didn't know when the case was going to end. I didn't know when business was going to resume. And I have a whole host of people, waiting and coming to work every day. For me, I was like, what lesson does this teach me? It taught me we are okay, but I told my team, you guys, we've got to go down and look for another source of income. We've got to go down and look for another source of income for this particular business. So that's the lesson I had. When people talk to you, when they give you feedback, do you hear it as criticism or do you look at it as feedback? When your manager tells you that report is below par, Do you hear it as criticism from the manager, or do you hear it as feedback? And I said yesterday, if you would work on your mind, if you would work on your attitude, a lot of times you will hear feedback instead of hearing criticism. When your customers give you feedback about your business, do you hear it as feedback, or do you hear it as feedback, or do you hear it as criticism? If your mind rushes to take it as wananionea, this is criticism, then you need to check on that. All right. So I hope all of us, we get here with our mindset, like we can say to ourselves, wow, that was challenging. You can say, I've got this. In as much as this and this is going on, I've got this. I'm so proud of myself. Game on, you guys, game on. I hope we can say game on. You can also say, this was tough, but it's completely worth it. This was tough, but it's completely worth it. It's important that I attempted. So if you can finally have the time to say, I got there in the end. Finally, I was able to do this, and finally I got there at the end. So you guys, if you could just pay attention to what I've said up to that point, then success is yours. It doesn't really matter what else you want to do. Success is yours. So if we can get to this, where this lady is, then us guys are going to be successful. All right. So let's move on. So with your growth mindset that encourages willpower, you can achieve whatever personal potential you want. Whatever. With a growth mindset, there is nothing, there's nothing on earth that you will not achieve. Your potential. Please remember, we are talking about your potential. So that's it. And I really am happy that I've taken time to explain that, because I know that that's where the rubber meets the road. I see people pay even for executive coaching. Then they finish, then they come back and tell me, Coach, I'm unable to continue. I feel so low. My clients are not coming. I am not able to do this and that. But the moment you master your mindset, the moment you master your willpower, nothing else is going to be difficult. So then how do we make sure that the potential in us is activated? It doesn't remain in its latent form. Are you guys learning? I would like you to tell me if you're learning. If you're learning, kindly drop me a comment so that at least I know we are together and we're doing this together. All right. So number one, when you want to activate your potential, recognize and listen to your inner voice. Recognize that voice. Listen to it. Don't just listen to other outer voices. There's an inner voice. There's who you are. And I want to ask you, what do you truly want in your life? What do you want for your life? Not what is being paraded out there. What do you truly want for your life? For example, this is what I truly, really want for my life. One of the things I really do not want for my life, let me tell you guys something. I hate poverty. Yani, I hate poverty because I can see what poverty does to people. I can see how poverty reduces people's choices. I have grown up hating poverty. Even the time I didn't have any money, I still hated poverty. So for me, what I truly want in my life is to ensure that we can not eradicate, but at least make sure that people are not living in poverty. I would really like to participate in that. Think of the things that you enjoy. Think of the things that you enjoy. What are those things that you enjoy? Think about them. I'll be showing you a list of how you get to this, to achieve this. But think about the things that you enjoy. Think about the things that you are or would want to be good at. There are things that you are very, very good at. Think about them. What are you good at, by the way? And you know that I'm good at this. Are you good at cooking? Are you good at hosting? Are you good at organizing? Are you good at doing reports? Are you good at driving? Are you good at coming up with new opportunities? Are you good at probing people to tell their stories? That's a skill. Just probing people to tell their stories is something that can pay you for the rest of your life. So you don't really have to tell our stories, but you can probe us to tell our stories. And when we tell our stories, those stories can be used to impact generations. So you've done your bit. There's a lady called Lynn Ngogi. I'm sure all of us have seen Lynn interviewing. And today I saw Lynn has introduced a new segment, which I was really hoping someone would introduce, the men segment. I think it's called the men. I saw it today. She has introduced a men corner. Like men can come now and also give us their struggles and tell us how they're surviving and talk to other men who are dying in silence. I know a lot of other people who are doing it, but there's a crowd that identified with Lynn and identifies with Lynn. So Lynn doesn't have to give us her own stories, but Lynn is making all of us go give our own stories. So what is that thing that you're very, very good at? Or what is that thing that you know, I would be good at this if I practiced? I would be good at this if I paid attention. I would actually be very good at this if I ignored people's opinions. I would actually be very good at this if I looked for healing from my past trauma and my past problems. I would be very, very good at this if I mastered my mind. I would be very good at this if I had self-control. Some of us, we suffer because self-control is at zero. You want a hit for a hit. So if someone insults you, you want to insult them twice. If someone puts a jibe on you on Facebook, you want to insult them 3 times. So you know there are those things that you could be very, very good at. You need to pay attention. So recognize and listen to your inner voice. Please make a list of your desired wishes and pay attention to what other people tell you as well. As much as you want to listen to your inner voice, make a list of the things you really desire. One of the most interesting things that happen when people take my AMP course is the literal writing down of the things that they desire. And I want you to practice it today in the afternoon. When we are done with this class, I will send you worksheet. I'll put it in the guide section. Print that worksheet. Work on it. Literally put down, see the power there is in you lifting those things in your head onto a piece of paper. The power in that is amazing, because let me tell you where we fail. You know you are gifted, you know you are this person, you know people tell you great things about you, but they always remain here in your head. So as long as they remain in your head and you cannot see them on paper, you cannot see them in physical, or you become confused because there are too many, you don't know which is which. I want to challenge you. By the time we meet in the evening, please have your list of those things that you desire and you want to pay attention to. Also, as you write that list, also write things that you maybe are strong at or people tell you about. Like people tell me, especially this political season, where I come from, I do a lot of charity work, back at home. I pay school fees. I sit on several boards. What do you call it? I rally my friends to give me books. Give me books. I want to take these books to needy children. I call for attention. I help a lot where I come from. So there has been this clique of people who have kept thinking that I want to run for a political office. I don't want to run for a political office ever, personally. Never, ever. But when I'm writing a list of what people say about me, I write that because it's something I don't want to forget, that I don't want to be involved in. So as you write, please write. And I'm not saying politics is bad, my dear. So if you are interested in a political office, take it. It's just that I sat down, I looked at the political office, what it brings, who I am, what are my desires, what are my values, what it is that I consider success, and it didn't feature. So I thought to myself, by the way, let me not even pretend and say I didn't consider it at first. At some point, I thought to myself, maybe this is something I would do. Then I sat down to literally write it down and write what it actually means. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe sometimes later in life when I don't have the commitments that I have. So please take time, write down. As you write that, consider such things as you will see them. You are going to meet them in the worksheet. Consider are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you this person who only wants to spend time with yourself and not with other people? And then you want to become a coach. Those two, because the moment you become a coach, you're going to listen to a lot of people desires, problems, great things. You're going to be in people's businesses. If you're that person who doesn't like to talk, I don't know what kind of coaching you can consider. Maybe you can consider coaching introverts like yourself and tell them, by the way, for us, no live videos, no phone calls, no videos. We shall be communicating on WhatsApp. And you're happy doing it. I am actually thinking that's a niche someone should think about. If you're very introverted and you want to serve introverts, how do you serve them? So as you write that list, think about such things. What are the top 5 words that describe your personality? Are you outgoing? Are you this person who likes to speak his mind? Are you colorful and classy? Are you, who are you? What are the top 5 words that could describe you? You need to think about that. Are you comfortable or uncomfortable in a disorganized environment? How are you? If you are comfortable in a disorganized environment, there are some jobs that you shouldn't consider. For example, if right now you're listening to me and you are probably in the university and you're wondering what your potential could be, and you realize that you are okay in a very disorganized environment, you don't mind too much about bora tunaendelea na life and everybody's happy, or there's someone else to organize. It doesn't mean that you should live in a dirty environment, really, but you don't want to be the one organizing. I feel like it would be disastrous for you to consider being a doctor. Because can you imagine a surgeon who is supposed to operate on someone's mind and doesn't have a very organized mind? It's likely that they are probably gonna have an issue. But imagine someone who doesn't like to put so much time organizing, but can rally people to come and organize. That person can become a very good event organizer or whatever it is. There's something that you can do with your personality. Imagine somebody who doesn't like to talk at all. You don't want to talk. You don't want to be disturbed. You don't want a lot of issues. Then you're considering becoming a lawyer. Can you imagine? That's going to really be disastrous because you will be bothered. The judges need you to come and present your case. You need to argue. So sometimes you get people who got themselves into businesses that they had no business getting into. So maybe you are very unfriendly, like you feel, I don't want to speak to people. Then you take up a job as a receptionist, as a front office officer. You're going to be having a lot of trouble. So it's important to consider, what are you? What do you consider? Who are you? Are you comfortable with taking risks? Because if you're not comfortable taking risks, I would tell you, don't consider being an entrepreneur, my dear, because biashara is risk after risk after risk after risk. We take very huge risks. Sometimes they come with very huge rewards, and sometimes they come with very huge lessons. So you need to ask yourself, if I'm not comfortable with taking risks, is there a lesson I can take and I can adjust well with taking risks? Or should I just be happy being employed, and should I now pursue a promotion at work? By the way, nobody said that to activate your potential means leaving work to start a business. I never said that. It could actually also mean you working very hard to take the next job, to become the next manager, to go to the next level, to become the next CEO of your organization. But you really need to work on your potential. So ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my values? What do I care about? What don't I care about? You will see that in the document. So you need to, let me go back a little bit, to recognize and listen to your inner voice. You need to take this activity and you need to take it with a very, very clear mind, so that you don't take those things that don't excite you. You have no business being in businesses that don't excite you. And you have no business being in careers that do not really, you know, answer to the fore. Is it paying you? Do you have skills in it? Do people need it? And do you love doing it? All right. Number two, be intentional and make conscious efforts. I see a lot of people want to be successful. They want to activate their potential. They want to go to the next level. However, they are not intentional. They just want, and they speak about it. They tell their friends about it. They put it on social media. They speak to their spouses about it. They tell their brothers and their sisters. They talk to themselves on their way to work. Maybe you are driving behind a big Mercedes Benz and you're thinking to yourself, my goodness me, I want to drive such a car. Or you are out there shopping and you're thinking to yourself, my goodness me, I would want to live in this neighborhood. Want, without ever being intentional on what to do and making conscious effort to be there. You will spend the next 5 years wanting, then 5 years later, your wants will have changed because maybe of the economy or you are not in a good place. And with time, you actually totally give up. All right. So potential means nothing if you don't do anything with it. And that's why I told you at the beginning, potential is, you can be anything that you want. So if you are not intentional and you're not making conscious efforts, your potential will literally mean nothing. So conscious efforts in the right direction. And I want to tell you this, potential won't just click one day from the blues. You have to work, you have to find the right direction. You have to find that potential and you have to work hard to find your sweet spot. You really have to work hard. A lot of people don't have the grit, the mental fitness, the mental capability to pursue their potential. You don't have it. So you start a business, then you post on social media twice, then you don't find the result, then you give up. You don't realize that the person who's gotten where they've gotten, man, it's been a journey. I was reading about Vusi Tembekwayo, and I think he's in the country. I don't know how many of you are attending his event. And that guy, he's not just Vusi. He's gone through so very much to get where he is. I don't know if you've read the story of Fubu. He's gone through so much to get where he is. I don't know if you've read the story of, whoever it is that you admire. They've gone through so much to get where they are. Cristiano Ronaldo, the footballer, the kind of practice that guy does. What if he went twice to the field and he was like, these exercises are too much. This coach is too much. She's too much into my space. How can he be telling me to come on time, not engage in bad eating, not engage in too much partying before a game? What is the problem with this coach? Me, I want to live my life. If Cristiano Ronaldo went that direction, he wouldn't be the great. He wouldn't be the GOAT that we know. He wouldn't be the guy that has 435 million followers on Instagram. He wouldn't be that guy. He would just be another guy there playing for another small organization. But now look at who he has become. The conscious effort in the right direction to work for what you want, to be there for what you want, to take criticism and take it as feedback for what you want. So you started a business, very good, you ticked a box, you ran it for 2 years, your family talked crap about it, you went and closed it down. I have a very close person to me. You will one day know about him. And that person close to me was in jail for 2 years. 2 years for something he didn't do. And during that time, I put myself in that box and I kept wondering, what if that was Betty? What was I supposed to do? And I thought to myself, one, I would have really not, just told myself, we are here, we are not going to die, we will pull through this. So meanwhile, what do we want to do? We want to just read books, because that's all we do here. We chill and wait for the term to end. So are you willing? Are you willing to fight for your potential? Are you willing to make conscious efforts? And you tell yourself, I know I don't know 1, 2, 3 things. I've told you need to write down what you want. Then go down and ask, for me to get here, what do I need? So are you willing to be intentional and make conscious effort? Or do you want to have your cake and then you eat it? You want to have clients and then you want to only tell them about your business once in a day. You want to have clients in your business and you want to reply to their emails 3 weeks later. You want to have clients to your business and you want to follow them up once you feel like you want to follow them up. You want to, you want a promotion at work and you really want to come in at 8, leave at 5, walk like a bicycle over there, hand in your reports when you feel like, and you want the next level. It's not going to happen. You've got to be intentional. You've got to decide, I want to be the CEO of this company the next 5 years. What does it take? And start taking strides in that particular direction. All right. So take small steps in one direction and figure out if this is something you are willing to put your energy and time into. What I'm telling you is that be intentional and make conscious efforts towards the right direction. I would like you, whatever it is that you start, take small steps in one direction. Start small, but keep going. And then you find out, is this something I'm really willing to do or not? I want to tell you about my sub story. I started an auditing business maybe 5 years ago. And the reason I started that auditing business is because where I worked, for the corporate I worked, at one point I did a lot of audits. And so I thought, if I was doing very good audits for this company and I actually got certified for it, why wouldn't I take this job that my friend has called me to go do that concerns auditing? And that job was paying very, very well. It was a business that was paying me really good. So I sat down, I asked myself, is this something I want to do? I said, no, my heart doesn't want to do it, but the money is attractive. Then I asked myself, whose help will I need? I wrote down whose help will I need. And then I asked myself, what does it take for me to become successful in this job I wrote down? So I started doing the business. I hired a team. Things were rolling, checks were coming, things were working for me. But 2 months down the line, the meetings, the demands from the clients, the reports that were coming to me, like every 1 week we would have like 20 files to handle. I was like, no, this is not what I didn't leave my job to come and do this. This is not what I want to do the rest of my life. So why was it a sub story? Because by the time I was deciding I don't want that business, I want to quit, I want to give it up, it almost drove me crazy. I can tell you this, it paid well, very, very well. But anyway, you cannot lose your life so that you are rich. No, that is not a strategy. That's not a cool plan. You've got to keep asking yourself, is this something I want to continue doing? So I took the right steps towards the right direction. I took the right strategy, but then I realized, this is not about me. It's not about what I want in life. It's not about the money. I'm out. So of all strategies, knowing when to quit may be the best strategy ever. So sometimes failure will come, and I want us to talk about it in one of the slides, but it's also important that you know when to quit. Number 3, be serious about your goals. To activate your potential, you've got to be very serious. And I know you've had goals, you even know SMART, you know those things, but now this is the practicality of it. By the way, now at this point, I want to tell you, I'm the practical coach. For me, I want us to do it practically. I don't want to give you theories. I want us to be as practical as possible. With every goal that you have, define your intention. Why are you having that goal? If I had really defined my intention with that business, my big why was, I had 2 whys. One, my friend had asked me to do that business. And if I was to be very serious, that's not a good reason to do in a business. Now that my friend asked me to do it, that was not a good why. Number two, it was very lucrative. That also was not a very good why. If I had asked myself, if you want to know if something is good, please ask yourself 5 whys. You know, like if I had asked myself, Betty, why do you want to start this business? Then I would have answered, because my friend asked me to do this business. Then I would go to the next why. Why did he ask you to do this business? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then why? By the time you get to the 5th why, you should have decided I ain't doing this business or I want to go ahead. Yeah? So with every goal, by the time we meet in the evening, you'll have your own desires. For each and every one of those, I want you to ask yourself, why? You will realize you don't even need to take the next step that you wanted to take. So for those of you who want to quit your jobs and come start entrepreneurship, and I'm not discouraging you, I want you to ask yourself, why? And once you answer the first why, go to the second why. So this is it. I want to quit ABC company. Why? Because I hate my manager. Why do I hate my manager? Because he keeps criticizing me. Why does he criticize me? I actually think my work is shoddy. Why is my work shoddy? Because I haven't invested in personal development. Why have I not invested in personal development? Because I listen to people who say personal development is crap. By the time you get to the 5th why, you will actually realize you didn't need to quit that job. Then you come back asking yourself, so because I hate my manager, what do I need to do so that I stop hating him? And once you do it and you realize you still don't really like him and you've done your bit, then it's time to leave. Number 2, write down the value. What will this particular thing do for you that you cannot gain from another similar source? Ask yourself, this goal that I have put down, why do I want to do it? Number 1. Number 2, what's the value that this goal is going to give me? Why am I going for it? Why am I attending this conference? Why am I in Betty's class? Why do I want to do this? What is the value that I'm going to get? So I have put here Lisa facilitating. I told you that Lisa coaches me. So one time, by the time she was coming to have an event in Dubai, there were 3 events I was considering. So I sat down and wondered, okay, what do I do? I think this event is fantastic. This one is fantastic. This one is fantastic. Then I say, let me put down the values of this event. What's the value I'm going to find at this event? 1, 2, 3. What is the value I'm going to find at Lisa's event? 1, 2, 3. I actually realized I would have found more value in Lisa's event than in any other event. So I decided to go with that one. Think about the cost and how will you recover? What's the cost of that thing that you want to do? Let me go back to Lisa's story. When I was putting down my why of attending the conference, the value I would find at the conference, I looked at the cost. It was high. The cost of paying for VIP, because I decided if I'm going to sit in Lisa's class, I'm sitting VIP. The cost of staying there for quite some days, the cost of flying there, the cost was a little bit high. And for every coaching that I've done in this life, some have been extremely cheap, but most have been very pricey. But you know why I continue paying? I always ask myself, what's the cost? Then I learned a way of recovering. I always give myself a target and say, how much are you investing in that coaching program, Betty? 200K. Very good. I give myself a target. I will attend. I will pay attention. I'll take notes. I'll ask questions. And I want to make sure that, first of all, I return my investment, the 200, but I've always given myself a 10x. So whatever it is that I pay, I put a target for myself to 10x that thing. So every time I put a note to 10x whatever it is that I have invested in, I get the impetus to pay. I just pay and continue because I'll take it back. I'll have my money back. Okay. Number 4, Baby steps, my dear, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. I know we hear about potential and we want to hit the moon immediately. We want to go 10 levels from where we are. Aim for the moon day one and you will fail miserably. I was having a conversation with one of my executive coaching students, and I love listening to them. They make my day. They are my people. They are my inner circle. And as I was listening, this came up, Betty, I want to do the whole of Africa. What I'm working on, this is for the whole of Africa. And for that particular day, I said, I won't talk about it, but another day, I will definitely talk about it. Because you know why? The moment you start with that in mind, that big goal in your mind, you will get a mental block at some point because your mind will not be able to process that information very quickly. And I'm not saying don't write big, audacious goals for yourself. Please do. But when you come to implementation, don't start implementing buff. Itakuchoma. Start implementing baby steps. Just say, all right, I want to focus on Africa. Very good. So because I want to focus on Africa, where do I start? I start in Kenya, my mama land. If people can buy my program in my country, then I think Ugandans can buy my program. Now I'm able to sell to Kenyans and to Ugandans and to Zambians. Very good. Can I now target South Africa? I think South Africa is quite a big deal. Target South Africa. But if you put out your ads and say now we are targeting the whole of Africa, it's gonna burn you and it's gonna be. And please take it from me. The good thing with me, I tell you all my mistakes so that you can learn from them. So baby steps increase your chances of having a practical outcome with minimum handles because you're able to handle anything that comes your way. You are able to handle it. So if you can put for yourself weekly, monthly, quarterly, and then yearly milestones. Don't just think, this 2022, I'm going to become the president. That's a good goal, but it's quite unrealistic, right? Number 5, please. This one is not a favorite, but I'll tell you because I'll tell you the truth. Prepare for failure. You know, when we leave our jobs, we live with this one. I've done this for this big company. I can do this for myself. I'm actually going to be very successful. True story. You will be successful. Sikatai. However, the failures will come. Failures and inconveniences are part of every success. Every success. I need to put a charger. Thank you. Thank you very much. So failures and inconveniences are part of every success story. There's not one success story that will not have failure in it. Unexpected issues here and there. What you need to do, remember mental strength. Mental strength allows you to prepare for failure so that when failure comes, you're not like, oh my God, I am dead. I can't do this. You're like, when it comes, you're like, I saw this. What did I plan to do in case failure ever finds me on the way? And then guess what? Failing does not mean that you have to shift your path or stop completely. It doesn't mean some of us, we fail at something. For example, maybe I launched the AMP program and it fails. By the way, I launched it twice. It failed twice. And then the third time it worked. So failure did not mean that now Betty stop with AMP. Man, just stop it. Now start another program. I know some of us, we get somewhere, you're like, I think I'm failing. I think this is not working. I should close doors completely and start afresh. You know, every time you start afresh, new devils come up. You now have new devils to deal with, new problems, new challenges. But remember, I told you, at some point, if it's really not working and you've done your homework, that one, quit. Pause, take time to reflect. All right. So failing does not mean we completely stop or shift. It actually means we pause, improve, try again, pause, keep learning, and keep going. All right, guys. Are we learning? Are we learning? I hope that we are. Number 6, and this is very, very important. I want to tell you this. You've got to learn to protect your energy. Energy, the reason why you can keep going, the reason why you can keep focusing, the reason why you can keep growing your career, growing your business is because you have the energy to go to work. You've got the energy to implement. You've got the energy to think. You've got the energy to do. If you don't protect your energy from the vampires, a lot of times you feel down. And the moment you start feeling down, people don't want to. Do you like working with colleagues who are always so low, so down, so whiny, so complaining? Do you like those business people who are always having something negative to say? Do you like them? I guess you don't. And guess what? Even negative people who are already negative, they don't like negative people. They want someone who can put some energy in them. So can you protect your energy? So do you know some energy vampires? I don't know if you've ever heard about an energy vampire. Who are the energy vampires that are crumpling your space? Who are they? Who are they? Because you need to protect your energy. Without energy, you ain't gonna perform. So can you tell me, so who are some of the energy, what are some of the energy vampires? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I don't want to, I want to talk about it, but I want to hear, what are some of the energy empires that surround us? Or who are they? If you know one or two, I would like to see. If you know one or two, I would like to see. Energy vampires or people that drain your energy, either people, surroundings, happenings. What are some of the energy vampires? I know our time is really, really gone and I'm past it with 6 minutes. I just want to give myself another 4 minutes and I wrap up. So anywho's, as I wait to see your suggestions, some of the energy vampires that you should protect yourself from: people, human beings like you. In fact, those are the worst. So you need to know who, when I'm around this person, my energy is low to the least. Or when I'm around this person, I feel fantastic. I feel like a daredevil. I feel like I want to do this. I feel like this thing is doable. You need to know who are you. You need to read the patterns. When do you feel at your very best and when do you feel at your very worst? And then check, when I feel at my very best, who is usually around me? When I feel at my very worst, who is usually around me? When I feel at my very best, what's usually happening to me? And when I feel at my very worst, what's usually happening to me? So at one point, I realized that bad news in terrible CNN, Kenya News, all those things were really draining my energy. You know what I decided to do? I am the one who picks that remote and puts on the news. You know, I'm the one who picks that remote and activates the news. So what did I do? I decided, you know what, Betty, you need your energy to keep going. So avoid, don't switch on the TV, don't watch, read a book, play with your loved ones. I mean, focus on something else. So people can be bad vampires. And some of the workmates, I can see you're telling me that fear is an energy vampire. By the way, your friends, toxic people, bad news. My energy vampire is negative thoughts, my mind running wild. Absolutely. You guys are now getting it. Identify your energy vampires, write down so that you catch yourself answering to that energy vampire. And when you catch yourself, you're right, Betty, you know what brings your energy down. You know, pause, pull back a little bit, think about it. And then from here, what do you do next? You are here. If you know that every time there's a family gathering, you come back feeling horrible, you need to ask yourself, this thing brings me down. What should I do about it? Should I go with an agenda to that family meeting so that I am the one running the agenda and at least helping people through it? What should I do? You need to be aware of your energy vampires. either your own thoughts, your own friends, your own relatives, your own fear. What is that? What's that energy vampire? Okay. And then your own doubts, your own limiting beliefs, they could come and really bring you down. But let me tell you, without energy, you are also not going to go very, very far. Okay. And then there are some external sources like news. You are not the one encouraging them. They are not within your surrounding. They are external, like news, COVID. By the way, you guys, and I dare say this because it worked for me. Life is not a straight line. By now, we all know that. Challenges will come. By now, we all know that. We just don't know what nature of challenges they are going to be. We don't know what's the magnitude they are going to be, but we definitely know challenges are going to come. So this, something like COVID, I know, like I'm just understand. I know, I am not pretending that I don't know. It was so big, it was so huge. We lost relatives, we lost friends, we were scared, we were anxious. But let me tell you something. Next time something like that happens, think about it. Is this an energy vampire for me? Yes, it is. What do I do about it? So for me, what I decided to do, I decided that I was not going to look at the numbers. The ones our CS was always reading. The first 3 days I listened to him, I wanted to go cover myself in bed and wake up and find the thing gone. Listening to the numbers, looking at the barrier, the way guys were being buried, looking at all that really suck energy out of me. So the next time that happens, the first 3 days I looked at it. The fourth day I was like, you know what? I ain't doing this. I know there's a disease. I don't want to be ignorant. I will look at the facts, what facts, that's for sure. But I want to protect my energy. You cannot protect yourself from death, really, but you can protect yourself from energy vampires. And maybe there are other people who really lost their lives to anxiety. Maybe it was COVID, yes, but anxiety was too much until maybe it took their lives away. So you guys, you've got to plan. You've got to know how do you protect your own energy. So in conclusion, understanding your potential and unleashing your inner voice requires strong willpower, patience, baby steps in the right direction. Because you could have willpower, you have patience, you are taking baby steps in the wrong direction, like Coach Betty's auditing business. I had the willpower, man. The kind of meetings I was doing with those guys, they were amazing, big men, big shots. I had the patience to build that business. I was actually taking baby steps, running very fast towards the wrong direction. You get somewhere, you find there is a block, you cannot move fast there, so you start coming back. So don't miss any of that, the willpower, the patience, baby steps, and of course, running towards the right direction. In this fast world, because it's a very, very, very fast world, life is so complicated that the most straightforward things like finding your potential seem almost impossible. Do you know why I've said that? There are people who signed up for this class thinking, man, let us now go and see the big things Coach Betty is going to talk about. Let's see that animal that is called potential. Let's see the figures. Let's see the pie chart. We want to see the graphic representation of potential. It's not coming. I will tell you the truth. I have been to all those big classes. I have been to all those big sessions. It all boils down to the simple, almost mundane principles about potential. And that is what helps you, and that's what takes you forward. So at this point, I really want to end the show. It's 13 minutes past 1, and our show was supposed to take an hour. But sometimes when I'm speaking about this, I get very passionate, and please forgive me for that. So I'll see you in the evening. Please come with your questions about potential. I'll spend a little bit time doing something practical with whoever will be in the class already, and then we can see if we can find what it is that we can focus on, and then we can run the Q&A and end the session. So please make sure you watch this. For those of us who came in late, invite people. By the way, we still have time until tomorrow. Share this Share the group with your friends and whoever else you care about, and I'll see you in the evening. Thank you very much, and thank you people for appreciating me. I totally receive your appreciation and compliments. Asante sana. We'll see you in the evening. Thank you.